Martin Noakes. I'm a plumber, gas man, pipe fitter. Plumbing for me started, I was working previously sort of in all areas of building industry. Through unforeseen circumstances, I ended up doing a bit of plumbing. I just sort of gelled with it, got on with it. I enjoyed it, you know, it was good. So I sort of fell into it really. I learned a lot from it. I done really well in college with it. I wouldn't see myself doing anything different now, but what I can do is add to that. And you know, obviously plumbing opens up many doors. It starts with not just pipe work, bathrooms, tiling maybe, gas work, boilers. Now I do commercial and industrial, so I started on a smaller level and here I am doing larger, massive stuff. At the end of the day, the principle of everything I do, let's say for heating, is still exactly the same. You still have a heat source, you have water in the pipe, a radiator, underfloor heating, anything like that. The principle is exactly the same, but it's just trying to understand the larger scale of it, which is why I will fall between domestic and industrial like that. You know, it doesn't sort of faze me anymore. But again, that took 14 years to learn that. I didn't learn that overnight, you know, and it took a lot of sort of like, oh, what's this do, what's that do? And that's what you got to do, ask questions, and people will help you. You know, there's no such thing as a silly question. I would recommend get yourself straight into college. Get yourself out there so that you're trying to get an apprenticeship, because as much as the college is great and you do a full-time course for 2 years, you need to be doing an apprenticeship. You need to have that hands-on experience out on a site, because like I say, through college is a perfect world, but you need to adapt the two. And what I personally found was I was never the best at exams and writing and things like books and things like that. That was not my area of expertise. But when I was doing my exams, when I was read a question, in my head I would relate that to a job that I've done. So I would picture that question from a job that I've done, then I'll go, right, okay, how did I get through this? And all of a sudden, the answer that's in your head, you look at the page, it's on the page. So yeah, you need that on-site experience as well. So get yourself into the college, put your name around, make the calls, put the requests out, people that you know. 9 times out of 10 it is who you know, it's not what you know. Plumbing stays the same. You learn your level 2, level 3 plumbing. That's there for life. But there are add-on bits you can use. Water regs is something that, you know, runs out, you have to renew. Unvented cylinders is something that runs out, you have to renew. So bits and pieces like that. Again, it's the same as gas. It's all about keeping up to date. Things change, regulations change all the time. They're changing, and yes, sometimes it is a bit of a nightmare trying to keep up with them, because you could have 10 regulations change in 5 years, but you haven't been to that college in 5 years. So how do you know they've changed? It's, you know, you do have to sort of keep your eye on the ball a little bit with it, but plumbing will always stay the same. But gas is, yeah, that's always one to keep you on your toes for sure. I do spend a lot of time doing jobs on my own, based on, because of what I do the plumbing, I do the gas, I do oil, and sort of everywhere in between there as well, which is great. Minor electrics is another thing you sort of pick up along the way. You fit a boiler, it needs a cable. Now, as much as that is an electrician's job, sometimes you need to be able to keep going, and just putting a cable there and testing it sensibly and making sure it's safe is enough. So you learn this along the way. So for me, I do find myself on my own at times, but I also find myself with apprentices, which is good for me, because I can kind of go, right, this is how I learned this. And what is always interesting is when you've got somebody going to college and they'll say, this is how we do it in college, this is how we do it in college. But this is the real world, okay? In college is a perfect scenario. It's a bay, you work in, nothing could go wrong, you're in a college. Now you've got to put everything you learned in college and more into that house. You know, you don't burn a carpet in college. You come to somebody's house, you'll burn the carpet. You need to think, and it's good for me, because as much as I'm on their case, you know, 2 years, 3 years down the line, they're on their own, and all of a sudden they've got somebody with them, and they're going, oh, Martin taught me this, Martin taught me how to do this, and all of a sudden that's pushed forward. And again, I always try and push some of the old skills that we don't use anymore, but try and push them forward, because they're brilliant skills. They keep you out of trouble. And they're not thought of these days, because everything is so easy and it's quick and it's push this, press that, and all the rest of it. Actually, it was designed like that for a reason in the past, and it worked for years. You know, why reinvent the wheel sometimes? But it's good to push them skills forward as well. Somebody saying to me, "Nice job, you've done really well, Emma." Yeah, definitely. That's the ultimate for me. At the end of a job, or even halfway through, you get a client that can't picture what you're trying to do or what you're trying to achieve. Bathrooms are always a good one, because I do the whole thing. You know, I'll go from rip out to put the new suite in to even tile it. And some people can't see the end result. But when you've come across that end result and they've gone, wow, you know, that first look or that first, you're like, yes, you know, brilliant. Gas is always a grey area for me. Challenging is trying to get the client on side, especially if you go into a scenario where 10 people may have been into that job before. Just because they've put their name to it doesn't mean to say it's right, it doesn't mean to say it's safe. You've had 10 people come in, maybe not know what they were looking for because they're not trained enough, they've not got enough awareness of things. You step in and you go, that's not right, and they go, it's fine for 10 years, it's been working. Then you've got to isolate and make safe. Now, providing you're cool and you're calm, you won't have an issue. You'll always get the odd person, you're not doing that, you're not doing that. But at the end of the day, you've got to do the right thing, you know. So for me, challenging is trying to get the client on side, the customer on side, when they can see it from your point of view and they can see that what you're doing is not to cause them hassle and cost them money. It's actually to make sure that they're not going to cause themselves a harm or somebody around them a harm, or in fact, you know, their property. Relationship is massive, yeah, definitely. You get one chance to make a first impression, so you need to be respectful because you're in somebody else's turf there, and you know you're in their house. You can't really sort of be any closer to them, so you've got to respect is a big thing for everything you do, but also just be mindful that you know things do happen, accidents do happen. But you just have to. It's not about, oh my god, this has happened. Because if you're panicking, what do you think your customer's doing? They're going, you know, get out of the house. You just go, right, okay, this has happened. This is how we're going to get through it, and that gives you that sort of trust and respect, both sides, you know. Maths, certainly with plumbing. If let's say let's just say you're measuring a piece of pipe. You've got to know how to understand a tape measure. It's got inches on it, centimetres, you've got to convert centimetres to millimetres. That's the world we live in. We live in a metric world. But also there's a lot of old imperial stuff out there, which is inches and feet and things like that. So you've got to know your maths. Again, I wasn't the best at it, but I got through it. And you pick up the rest along the way. Definitely that's a big one I think personally for most industries is maths. Science, because we work with chemicals, things like that, but also there's a safety side of it, like electronics is a good one because like static and things like that can all sort of form from all different places. So yeah, the science is another big one as well, definitely. So if on a small basis, could be the client, you know, they may be working from home, so you may take an interest in what they do. If you're working on a larger site with many other people, you could be on a building site that would have plumbers, it would have electricians, you'd have carpenters, you'd have roofers, plasterers, just about anyone. Even to outside, if it's a big new site, you could have the utility guys out there, you know. So yeah, you come across just about anyone and everyone in the industry. But that, as well as, you know, Joe Blogs out in the street, everyone sort of wants to know what you're up to, and people will talk to you. So you come across absolutely everyone. Entry level definitely is a big learning curve, massively, because you come into it, whether you know a little bit, whether you've been working, even so much as working on your bike as a kid can really help you because you've got the use of tools, you understand the tools. So going from that, then your prospects move on to, for me, I went from the plumbing to the gas to commercial gas and commercial pipe work. Then I do oil pipe work and oil lines. I work on the appliances. So the prospects start, you think, oh, you might want to stay plumbing, that's fine. But It's a bigger world out there, you know, and there's 1,000 plumbers out there. So all the time you can give yourself another little ticket or another little sort of, you know, you're flying. You'll sort of stand out from them. I wish I knew that. I've had a few leaks in my time. S Not major ones, but yeah, I've had a few leaks. I wish I kind of knew how to get around them or how to have avoided them at the time. Some of them were silly little things that maybe I should just check twice. Okay, and everyone will get a leak. There's nobody out on this planet that said I've never had a leak in the plumbing industry. So yeah, I wish I'd have just sort of maybe sort of looked into it a bit more and, you know, tried to understand it, and I could have avoided it. Again, it wasn't major, it was silly little things, but at the end of the day, it all falls, you know, it all falls back on you. So yeah, I wish I'd have sort of applied myself to maybe double checking everything. That's certainly something I do now for sure, because I know what the implications can be. It's a good trade to get into. It'll always be there, so you'll have a job for life, providing you apply yourself. Try everything once, otherwise, yeah, you don't stand a chance really. You're just going to sort of limit yourself to the bare minimum, and as much as that's great for some people, yeah, you want to be open-minded for certainly for plumbing, because it's a wide, vast range. And if you find yourself doing the commercial industrial stuff later on, Christ, I found myself out on the streets laying water mains. You know, going from somebody's in their house stuff to laying great big 400, 500, 600 mil pipe out in the street. Yeah, it was an eye-opener, for sure. And it was great, I enjoyed it, you know. And like I said, I'll do it again. So yeah, keep yourself open-minded for sure, and learn and do well with it, yeah, definitely. Think on your feet. You have to think on your feet. Situations happen any walk of life. It's how you deal with it. Like I said earlier, if you panic, everyone else around you is going to panic as well. Think on your feet and get it done. That's the biggest thing I've learned, is certainly in plumbing, obviously, with water can make a hell of a mess. Yeah, it's just get it done. Sometimes needs must. You know, it might not be the right thing to do in the long run. You never leave it like it, but it may stop you and help you in the process when you just go, bend a bit of pipe, stops the leak. Okay, you've got to replace 3 meters of pipe now, but you don't have to replace thousands of pounds worth of somebody's property. Think on your feet is my word, yeah, definitely.